Welcome to this commencement ceremony of Elmhurst College. Welcome to the graduates. You have worked hard to get here today. Welcome to the faculty who have taught and guided these students. Welcome to family and friends who have supported and helped these students to make it to the finish line. The hash bell has rung to open the ceremony in keeping with Elmhurst College tradition. Faculty have donned their academic robes, symbolic of knowledge, scholarship, and the liberal arts. And I will open this ceremony with the words, with which we open each academic convocation. The company of scholars is assembled. Let this commencement ceremony begin. I now call on Father Anthony Tesqueta to lead us in the invocation.
Let us pray. O merciful and divine one, it has been said that all prayer can be reduced to one word: help. And those who say there is no prayer in school have never taken a final exam. So today, we pray in school, and to that prayer for help, we add a prayer of thanks. Thanks for our graduates. Thanks for their answered prayers. Thanks for their parents. We pray in a special way for the mother of Christina Lamarck, for grandparents, for siblings, friends, and teachers. Thanks for the memories. And in a very special way, we say thanks for this very special school. It has been here that we have been lured from early adolescence, insecurity, and ignorance to our possibility for the future. It is here that we have been immersed in the elan of Elmhurst College, that life is not just about me, but that I am about life. And that there's something bigger than just my own dreams and aspirations. In the great United Church of Christ tradition, we have been handed a very important key to entering into the mysteries and the wonders of life. And so for all of this, we say thanks. And now, for finding a good job and getting into the right graduate school and paying off the student loans for all of our students, we once again say, help. And the people said, amen. We just prayed in school.
Please be seated. We are going to go a little off the program here. I'd like to ask Christina Lamarck to come forward. One of our graduates today, Christina Lamarck, has a mother who's gravely ill, who's in the hospital. So we are going to bestow her degree upon Christina now so that she can leave and rejoin her mother in the hospital. I am pleased to present candidate for the bachelor's degree, Christina L. Lamarck, cum laude. First to address us today is another candidate for the bachelor's degree, Uchenna Ibringa, who is graduating today. Uchenna?
It is my honor to stand before all of you, President Ray, trustees, faculty, administrators, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2014. It is my hope to share some thoughts we may all find true. I would first like to take this moment to simply reminisce with my fellow graduates. Do you all remember the first day of freshman year? It feels like almost a lifetime ago, doesn't it? For some of us, it was less than 4 years ago. For others, it may have been more. Regardless of how long ago it may have been, we all shared some of the same feelings that day. There was a great sense of wonder that surrounded us. The world was suddenly open and full of possibilities. There were new friends, new activities, and brand new experiences. It was our time to mold ourselves and become who we always wanted to be. Could the sun have shone any brighter on those days? Could our meal plans ever run out? Well, for some of us, the answer to that question is yes, but that is beside the point. I recall a breezy afternoon towards the end of my freshman year. The sun was shining, and I was outside sitting under a tree with a friend, simply watching the clouds go by. I remember that we would try to tell what shapes the clouds resembled and give each other points depending on how creative we were. I believe the most creative shape was a sea monster. That one was worth 10 points. We didn't keep track of who got the most points. I have no idea who won that game, and it really didn't matter. But I do remember feeling light. I was completely there, in the moment, enjoying the sun and the world around me, and feeling excited about all the possibilities that lay before me. I also recall one night from my junior year. That semester, I had taken a class load my advisor had suggested I avoid. I remember that night, after staring at a chemistry textbook I just did not understand for hours, I laid down on my floor and I cried. School at that time just seemed to be too hard. I had too many responsibilities, and there just wasn't enough time in the day. What was I to do? There were just too many awful possibilities. What if I didn't graduate? Mom and Dad would be so disappointed. How would I ever get into graduate school? I wasn't even sure if I liked my major. In that moment, I was suddenly feeling as though the weight of all the possibilities was crushing me. I felt heavy. So, here we all are. After having many of those light, enjoyable moments where we were completely present, and those heart-wrenching, terrifying moments where we were lost in a raging sea of possibilities, we have our sought-after degrees. You see, when trying to achieve truly great things, we all have those moments that are full of doubt. Times when we question not only if it is worth doing, but can we actually even achieve it? From here, we all go off in many directions, some unknown, others into 40-hour work weeks, and a few back into the grind of flipping through textbooks and counting on Google when you just don't know the answer. But before we begin trying to figure out our purpose in life, questioning whether or not we chose the right career, or falling asleep face first in an open textbook we feel we paid way too much for, let's take a moment to live in the awe and wonder of new possibilities once more, and relish in our great achievement. Let's sit back and look around at those we've met. Let's think back at what we've learned, not only in the classroom, but from life these past years, and let's celebrate. Because the future will present us with those hard times and those uncertainties, and we must draw strength from not only those around us, but the moments such as these in which we're filled with awe, in which we have celebrated, in which we feel light. You see, though we may no longer be wide-eyed freshmen staring up the clouds, searching for sea monsters, the world will always be full of possibilities. Night will turn to day, and the sun will shine. To quote the late great Dr. Seuss, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. Today is your day, your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Congratulations, my fellow graduates, we did it.
Now I would like to invite to the podium the chaplain of the college, the Reverend Scott Matheny, who is going to give us some context for the music we are about to hear.
Dr. Grimes and the band have asked me to read to you the context of this amazing piece that they will now play, and it is filled with drama. In the Bible, the 14th chapter of Genesis tells the story of a mighty rebellion led by Haldimar, the king of Elam. Haldimar and 3 other kings joined together to ravage and conquer everything that lay in their path. It was the custom then that to the victor belongs the spoils. Therefore, Haldimar's men pillaged and fled with all the goods and conquered lands, as well as taking captives of all slaves. Although this was Haldimar's greatest victory, it was also ultimately his defeat. For amongst the kidnapped was Lot. Lot, the nephew of Abram. Abram, the same Abram, who was the one of God's chosen, who would later be called Abraham. When Abram learned that Lot had been kidnapped, Abram armed 318 trained servants of his own house and set out in pursuit of the invaders. When they encountered the offenders, Abram divided his small contingency and conquered Haldimar's entire army, bringing them to ruin while simultaneously recovering Lot, all the other captives, and all the stolen riches. It is to this drama that the Elmhurst College Wind Ensemble will now depict this story, set to music by David Holsinger, Abram's Pursuit, which is conducted by our graduating senior, Brad Roth. Sir.
Thank you very much, Uchenna, Bradley, Chaplain Matheny, and the Elmhurst College Wind Ensemble. I am now honored and pleased to introduce Dr. Donna Getz, Associate Professor in the Department of Psychology. Dr. Getz has begun a phased retirement program after having been at Elmhurst for 33 years. Dr. Getz teaches in the areas of adult development and aging, personality theories and research, theories of learning, and the history of psychology. She also teaches an interdisciplinary course with a political science faculty member on the psychology and philosophy of gender. Her scholarly work has been in the areas of psychology and religion, women psychologists in higher education, mother-daughter relationships, and sources of life satisfaction in older women from a global perspective. Yes, she will be available for consultation after the ceremony. She has also served as secretary to the International Council of Psychologists. She has served as the chair of the psychology department with other service to Elmhurst College, too multifarious to be able to enumerate here. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Donna Getz.
Thank you, Alzada. Dear graduates, after all your hard work, you have accomplished something you can be proud of. I offer you congratulations along with all of our faculty members. You have achieved one of your goals. You will have many future opportunities, and you will be able to make opportunities for yourselves. You can contribute to making this world a better place. Two of my personal goals are to continue learning and to travel to many countries. To reach these goals, I developed a travel study course to take students to meet psychologists in Germany and Austria to learn about their work. While I was teaching full-time, I took one German course each semester for 4 years. I emailed German psychologists who had written interesting articles to see if I could bring my students to visit them. I assigned my favorite book, Dr. Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, to the course syllabus. Frankl wrote that it is our responsibility as human beings to create meaning for our life. And that is my challenge to you today. What will you decide to do to create meaning for your life? Dr. Frankl was a young Jewish psychiatrist during the time of the Holocaust. He, his wife, and his parents were forced into concentration camps by the Nazis. When he was arrested, the manuscript of a book he had just written was taken from him and destroyed. While in the camp, he observed the other prisoners and noticed that those who gave up hope died soon after. The men who survived had something to live for. His two goals were to see his wife again and to rewrite his book, because he felt he had something important to contribute. During his time in the camp, he tried to reconstruct his book by writing on whatever scraps of paper he could find, because he felt he had something important. His wife and parents were killed in the camps. Frankl survived, and after the war, Frankl became a famous author and remarried. Frankl used his intellect to confront evil in the world. He developed a system of therapy to help patients create meaning in their lives. When my students and I were in Graz, Austria, the receptionist at our hotel asked why I had brought a group of American students to Austria. I explained that we were visiting psychologists to learn about their work, and we were also learning about German culture. When I mentioned Dr. Frankl, she became excited and said every time he gave a lecture here in Graz, he would sit at that table and drink a coffee before his lecture. I've got 2 books which he autographed for me, and he drew a caricature of himself in the front flyleaf. And I'll bring those to you. I said, I'll take good care of them and return them. She said, oh no, they are a gift to you. Our group then took the train about 3.5 hours to Vienna. My class and I met with Mr. Harold Morey, who had been Frankl's assistant. He showed us where Frankl had lived before he was imprisoned. We discussed the book with him. Then Mr. Morey said, "I have a surprise for you. Today, Mrs. Ellie Frankel will receive you in her apartment." Mrs. Frankel showed us a room full of awards and photos taken of her late husband, and with President Eisenhower, President Kennedy, and others. Several photos showed him with different popes. There were also pictures of him leading mountain climbing expeditions and piloting a small plane. Mrs. Frankel explained that he took up those activities in his later years in order to overcome his fear of heights. Near the end of our visit, I showed Mrs. Frankel the book that the receptionist had given to me. She asked if she could keep the one with the caricature. She said, "I had often sat next to him and watched him draw that, but I don't have a copy for myself." Of course, I gave it to her. Right before we left, she said, "I want to play something for you." She put on a long playing record of Frank Sinatra singing "Strangers in the Night." And she said, "My husband used to sing this to me all the time." When I designed my course, I had no idea that my students and I would be able to meet Mrs. Frankel or that I would be able to give her something in return. All those hours of studying German grammar and planning our trip led to a marvelous moment. So today, graduates, I urge you to pursue your own goals and dreams. Your faculty and I treasure you and hope that you will find your own treasures and discover the deep meaning and the purpose of your life. Congratulations to you and your families.
Many thanks, Dr. Getz, and also to the Elmhurst College Concert Choir. Next, I have the great pleasure to introduce to you the Vice Chair of the college's Board of Trustees, Mr. Ed Mumkus. Mr. Mumkus is here today to bring us greetings from the board.
They told me I couldn't just tell jokes and I couldn't embarrass the graduating students who had taken my law classes, so I'll have to give a real speech. Good afternoon, everyone. You all awake? Okay. Of all the privileges of being a trustee of Elmhurst College, none is more enjoyable or significant than attending commencement, where you can congratulate the graduates and celebrate their achievement. Today's commencement is attended by several of the trustees who are actually braving the weather and had lots of other things they had on their agenda. But I would like to ask them to stand when I call their names and be acknowledged. Julius Wesley Beckton III. Ken Bristol. Virginia Prochaska, and Russ Wiegand. Thank you. To the graduating class of 2014, I extend greetings and congratulations from the board. Today is a celebration of your intellectual curiosity and tenacity. The board wants you to know how proud we are of what you've accomplished. Our admiration, quite frankly, also applies to your family members and loved ones who have put up with you during this time. We also proudly recognize our dedicated and distinguished faculty members and commend them for their passion to teach and commitment to enlighten. Today, you'll leave Elmhurst campus and go on to the next phase of your lives. We have no doubt that you will all go on to do great things. Your professors, your advisors, and your entire time here have prepared you to succeed in whatever endeavors you pursue. One thing that may not be so obvious to you right now, however, is the power of the network and friendships that you have built. Don't leave them behind. That network will continue to support you throughout your lives if you stay in touch with your alma mater and fellow alumni and alumnae. Our great faculty, our administration, and my fellow trustees will work tirelessly to ensure that Elmhurst remains vibrant and strong. But we need you, our students who are now alums, to help us with our mission. We ask that you come back often, take advantage of the things that the college has to offer, and as you know, there are many of those things that are available. Attend your reunions, and help build the network that already exists into something even bigger. We can't wait to hear your great stories, to see your life's work, and how you help to make the world a better place. So congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Mr. Mumkus. I turn now to our president to offer some remarks and am pleased to bring to the podium Dr. S. Allen Ray, president of the college and professor of religion and society.
Thank you, Alzada. Welcome, class of 2014, as you spend your final moments as students of Elmhurst College. In a few minutes, you're going to become the next generation of our alumni, carrying on that proud tradition that reaches back an amazing 143 years to our founding in 1871. Welcome to all of you very patient and very generous parents, relatives, and friends, and greetings to our dedicated faculty and trustees, and to all who've gathered here today to celebrate this once-in-a-lifetime achievement of yours. Each of you soon-to-be graduates has been shaped in your education by the Elmhurst experience. Each Elmhurst experience is different, and yet each one is the same because it stems from our shared mission and our vision and our core values. We've tried to help you form yourself into someone who's a critical consumer and producer of knowledge and culture. A person who rejects materialism while crafting a life philosophy that's appropriate to the complexity of human being. And someone whose compassionate heart leads them to deeds of service to other people and commits to the slow transformation of an often dangerous and unjust world. Mind and heart and hands working together to make you a better person and the world a better place. That's the aim of the Elmhurst experience. So what lies ahead for you? Comparative religion scholars and psychologist Carl Jung tell us that virtually every tradition has a myth about a young hero who faces a crossroad in life, a moment of decision, fraught with danger and the temptation to take the easy path rather than seek out his or her destiny. You stand, I think, on the edge of a similar transition, a similar going out into the world, a world that you know will be challenging at best and has no guarantee of success and lots of examples of failures. But you come armed with a mind that's been trained to think critically and also constructively, a heart that bears compassion and hands that have given service to others. You want to make it, but you don't want to lose your soul in the process. As the title of my marks indicate, it now gets complicated. The world, how else to say it? It will tempt you. While it may be difficult to imagine yourself right now as climbing a career ladder, I assure you, you will, and in fact, you'll probably climb several during your life. And as you succeed in your career, you may feel inclined to think less and conform more in your ideas to whatever it takes to get you where you think you want to go, to reduce the complex to the simple, to seek the magical algorithm of happiness, and to regard your college years as a special, even quaint time in your life when you were encouraged to think big ideas. But big ideas, aren't useful when you have a project to complete, a deadline to meet, and rent to pay. The life of the mind, devoted to elucidating the human condition, can become reduced, I think, to endless problem solving in the interest of a paycheck all too easily. The treadmill of labor looms. And what about values? I think you'll feel tempted to materialism, to cabin off and monetize every human interaction. Maybe you'll exempt your spouse or your parents or your children or even friends from this materialism, or perhaps not. Besides, what's wrong with pursuing a career that leads to wealth? And service? In the working world or in grad school, I think there's little time for service. And if you acquire a family, there's even less time for it. So you may consider dealing out service. For now, you'll say, until I can afford to take the time. And as you start to earn a living, you'll find it's easier to just write a check than volunteer somewhere. You may be tempted to abandon service to those, you may tell yourself, who have fewer demands on their time, like, say, college students. And whatever it is you wind up doing for a living, you'll be tempted to tell yourself that that is your service. And what's wrong with doing well by doing good? The temptations to abandon the life of the mind, the compassion of the heart, and the service of the hands in favor of, respectively, simple ideas, materialistic values, and self-seeking behavior will be real, and they will be constant. And here's the kicker. This can happen not in spite of your success, but because of it. The world will tempt you. Things in the most existential sense will become complicated. And how will you respond? Well, some suggestions. First, apply the skills of mind to meet the world on its own complicated terms. Recall that your liberal arts education here was intentionally general in its orientation. As you become specialized in practice or further studies, don't forget that the world remains complex. The world doesn't know that you're narrowing your focus. So try to think of every significant event from at least 3 points of view, 3 disciplines that you've studied, the points of view of 3 people very unlike yourself. And don't be afraid to say, it's an open question, or I don't know. Keep your love of ideas. You've worked too hard to become uninformed, to become uncritical of what's going on around you and through you. Then there's the heart. The underlying virtue that I endorse, and I think the college has embraced, is respect for the human spirit against materialism. The materialism of our world presses in, I think, at every turn. The human spirit, that thing you share with poor people, with ugly and odd people, people of no earthly use to you whatsoever, is not much valued out there. Elmhurst College offered you a place and a time to think and act in spiritual terms, sometimes in overtly religious terms and other times not. But here's the thing. I would urge you, don't give in to the pressure to talk about people in purely quantitative terms, to find the measure of a person in their annual income or the status of their position. Don't reduce poor people to a statistic on poverty. Don't participate in segregation by subscribing to not in my backyard ideas and practices. Remember, it's not that compassion has little value in a materialistic world. Compassion is the enemy of a materialistic world. You must work and even fight, I think, to sustain the value of compassion, that value that proclaims we're all equal in our needs, to nurture it as your foundational value. Otherwise, it turns into what? Mere pity, the gaze of the powerful upon the abject. The heroes, truly, of our religious and secular traditions have something else called compassion for the poor, feeling with. They do not have pity. Be like them. And as to religion, I say stay open to change. Change to religion from non-religion, or change from one religion to another, or even from religion to none. You may be an atheist now, but don't always assume you'll be that. I think religion at its best celebrates the mystery of life. It doesn't really seek to explain it. Down the road, there's going to be deaths and births of loved ones. And if you feel a religious tug in those moments, I ask, don't dismiss it. It's a sign of your humanity and perhaps a call to become someone new. Having a critical mind and a compassionate heart is going to always produce service. The fate of the world is still your business and your concern. After all, you live in it. The poor and the sick and the socially marginalized are still your concern, because tomorrow they could be you. And in fact, I think reflection and compassion tell us they already are. As to injustice, you may find it harder to know what exactly that looks like. Living in a complex world means acknowledging moral ambiguity and even admitting that your first moral impression was wrong. It's possible that this can mean that you're becoming indebted to a system of injustice yourself for your income, your social standing, your children's future. Perhaps in college you believed capitalism was always an evil, unions were always good, and now you're not so sure. You thought that lawyers were corrupt, and now you're becoming one. You thought that doctors were kindly healers, and now you're seeking to join the health management world. You're becoming aware that you've always been part of this system, only now you're becoming an active participant, an agent whose life choices are empowering arrangements of power and privilege and access that long preceded you. And how can you identify, then, true injustice? Now, here's where I hope your Elmhurst experience can assist you again. Our college's core values are not window dressing. We've tried very hard to help you internalize them and apply them to your life. Our values of intellectual excellence and community, social responsibility, stewardship and faith, meaning and values are substantive principles for you to take with you, take in you, and take as you face the temptations of the mind and the heart and the hands. Be assured there is injustice in the world, not just differences of opinion, but your critical habits of thought and compassion and engagement will help prevent you from becoming dogmatic and too self-assured that you always have justice on your side. So remaining in touch with the socially marginal, I think, is the best way to rightly perceive injustice. You know, people on the margins are really the canaries in our collective coal mine, the ones whose suffering and stories will tell you most of what you need to know to spot injustice in fact and not merely in concept or ideology. Your service to the world may consist of a lifetime of self-critical acts that lead to social change. By bonding with others engaged in this process, and especially by listening to those adversely impacted by the status quo, you're going to gain insight into the injustice before you and around you, see how you may be participating in that unwittingly, and receive the strength to change your life so that your actions will be consonant with your values. I believe that Elmhurst College doesn't just train people to enter the workforce. We don't just aspire to graduate what my predecessor, H. Richard Niebuhr, called, quote unquote, the standard product. We strive to do something more audacious. We aspire to help our students transform themselves, like you, into better human beings, equipped morally, spiritually, and intellectually for whatever awaits them in the world. And if we've succeeded in this at all, your lives are going to be infinitely more complicated for it, but I hope infinitely more human and filled with the joy of lives well lived. In conclusion, as you leave us, keep your minds alert, keep your heart open, and keep your body engaged in just service. And never forget that now you've become part of a larger community, the Elmhurst College community, past and present and future. We won't forget you. If you need us, just call and we'll be there for you. So stay in touch with us. You're alumni and alumni of a remarkable institution that, thanks to you and literally thousands of other graduates, is becoming stronger by the day. Thank you all, and I wish you a rich and complex and complicated life in the years to come.
Can you hear me now? Additional soloists who are not listed in your program include Alicia McElroy-Hodges and Louise Holler on drums and Mary Gibson on piano.
Thank you, Dr. Ray and the concert choir. Will the candidates for the degrees of Master of Business Administration, Master of Education and Teacher Leadership, Master of Arts in Industrial Organizational Psychology, and Master of Professional Accountancy please stand? Will the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Music, and Bachelor of Fine Arts please stand? Graduates, in keeping with the traditions of this ceremony, you may now move your tassels to the left side of your mortarboard. President Ray, I present these candidates for graduation from Elmhurst College with the degrees indicated on their diplomas.
Well, who wants to graduate? Do I? I'll do it then. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Elmhurst College, I confer upon you the bachelor's degree or the master's degree that the faculty has recommended for you, with all the privileges and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. In a moment, I'm going to call you to come forward individually to receive the diploma certifying your degree. 50 years from now, one of you will be asked back to shake the hands of the members of the class of 2064. Yes, hard to believe. Today you're going to be welcomed into the distinguished company of Elmhurst College graduates by someone from the class of 2064. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. Today you're going to be welcomed into the distinguished company of Elmhurst College graduates by Elmhurst College alumnus Bob Mills, class of 1964. All right, Bob. Will the recipients of bachelor's degrees and master's degrees please come forward now to be recognized?
You may be seated. The marshals will begin the procession of the graduates to the platform to receive their diplomas. I am pleased to bring to the podium Dr. Deatra Sullivan Morgan, Associate Professor of Communication Arts, who will call the roll of the graduates.
Arganeshka K. Bucko. Maritza I. Castro. Nassim A. Gaberi. Ricky C. Kwan. Byron Lavelle Mitchell. Robert William Phelan. Suzanne Rago. Jason J. Todd. Don Canfield. Demetria G. Drakes Del Fiaco. Catherine A. Whitman. Kartanzana A. Berm. Abdul Abufalat. Jennifer M. Ackerman, summa cum laude. Michael M. Adcock. Charlotte L. Alessandri, summa cum laude. Marina R. Anderson, magna cum laude. Edward J. Ash. Alyssa Elaine Babecki. Christopher R. Balke, summa cum laude. Catherine Kimberly Ball. Paula Jean Bano, cum laude. Penny Basso. Stephanie L. Beckwith, summa cum laude. Neil A. Barrett. Verida Versavoik. Wesley M. Beely. Matthew T. Boeing. Lindsay A. Bogardus. Jacob N. Bramkema. Christina M. Brown. Nathan A. R. Brown, cum laude. Jessica Page Bordeaux. Jennifer L. Berger. Ryan Anthony Bilek. Michael Casey Cahill. Joseph Denton Carr, cum laude. Christopher J. Sella, magna cum laude. Stephanie Nicole Chaddock. Brittany Check, cum laude. Lisa M. Klopek. Nicole F. Sapola. Catherine Clark, summa cum laude. Marissa J. Clower, summa cum laude. Thomas Gerard Cook. Melanie Ray Cosgrove. Stephanie M. Credidio. Heather K. Crow. Holly M. Crow. Chris P. Crowell. Caitlin L. Cucciaroni, cum laude. Ashley M. Culleton, magna cum laude. Omari J. Davis. Mariana De Felipis. Janet L. Dembowski. Elizabeth Marie Denigris, cum laude. Joseph R. Durr, cum laude. Kelsey L. Dodd. Uchenna C. Ibringa. Brittany M. Irwin. Lynette M. Efershaw. Kristen M. Falini. Angela Rose Fiore. Alyssa M. Fitzhugh, cum laude. Diana P. Forsberg. Thomas J. Galvin. Caitlin S. Gowan, cum laude. Matthew S. Geyer, cum laude. Nicholas J. Giannatasio. Lola L. Ruffin Gilmore. Sean Patrick Gordon, magna cum laude. Anna Marie Goro, cum laude. Michael D. Grice, magna cum laude. Adam R. Groh. John Edward Gershow, cum laude. Michelina Grizz. Robert Grzybowski, cum laude. Nicole Hansen. Rachel R. Harley, magna cum laude. Alyssa Ray Hartney. Katie Lynn Hauserman, cum laude. Nicole Jeanette Howard. Christopher L. Hunter. Candace D. Jameson. April M. Jennings. Ryan W. Johnson. Sarah M. Johnston, summa cum laude. Arlitra Y. Jordan. Matthew D. Cabin. Matthew D. Kazmar. Suzanne P. Kessel, cum laude. Anna Catherine Kozalek, magna cum laude. Gina L. Leahy, magna cum laude. Philip L. Lee. Andrew Lepard. Eric John Lodwick. Giorgio Lois. Isabel Lopez Soto. Matthias Lorimore, summa cum laude. Kyle R. Lupke. Andrew J. Lucier. Ashley E. Lingus. Elizabeth A. Maciejewski, cum laude. Marina J. Mago, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Majersic, summa cum laude. Natalia A. Maigut. Edward J. Mallon. Christopher J. Marella, magna cum laude. Bergen J. Marsted. Megan C. McCracken. Michael A. McNeil, Jr. Erica Denise Means. Amy L. Michaels, summa cum laude. Lindsay Ray Mikulecki. Brianna P. Mingus, cum laude. John F. Morales. Juliana R. Murphy. Timothy J. Murphy. Dana N. Nelson. Jacqueline D. Nurop. Marcy Lee Ann Novak, magna cum laude. Kaylee Ann O'Connell. Erin Elizabeth O'Laughlin. Brittany Elizabeth Olnek. Kinga Orzulak, magna cum laude. Robert F. Pasquesi. Brooke A. Perlman, magna cum laude. Daniel J. Petrocas, magna cum laude. Andrew R. Pedersen. Sanu Varghese Philippos. Antonella Pinto. Brian John Posiak. Matthew J. Powell, magna cum laude. John Paul Provenza. Kevin D. Putbris. Rosalba M. Ramirez. Julian R. Renahan. Bradley C. Rathie. Alex Rimpala. James O. Ricchetti. Rayanne E. Riddle. Haley Rowe. Ronald J. Rossi, cum laude. Jennifer J. Ross, magna cum laude. Michael J. Ruiz. Lauren M. Ryan, summa cum laude. Morgan Leanne Saff. Daniel S. Shibley. Ryan T. Schmidt. James John Schwartz. Kimberly A. Schwerdman. Shelley L. Shapazian. Rebecca C. Shelton. Hasnain A. Shirazi. Julia C. Shaliga. Kevin J. Sietzma. Julie H. Siver. Michael A. Simone. Danielle A. Sproul. Lisa M. Swanson. Danielle L. Swayze, magna cum laude. Tiffany K. Tatsumi, summa cum laude. Kelly M. Thielen, cum laude. Eric W. Tibbetts. Susan L. Tyler, magna cum laude. Salvador Uriostagi. Harambos P. Vavlas, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Wamsley. Christopher J. Wild. Andrew J. Wilhoit. Haley A. Williams. Caitlin A. Wilson, cum laude. Haley Lynn Wittenberg. Nicole C. Lazine. Natalie Joy Wolf. Jenny Jinsal Wan. Shree Woods. Carrie Veronica Zaplatel, cum laude. Christina Marie Zapavinia, magna cum laude.
I would like to invite Dr. Ray to the podium to offer his charge to the graduates.
On behalf of the trustees and the faculty of Elmhurst College, I speak to you graduates one last time as you complete your years as students and join the ranks of alumni and alumni of the college. The founders who built and nourished the school here in Elmhurst more than 143 years ago, the thousands of students who've walked this campus ever since, and all who've contributed to your education are speaking to you as well. You now bear an honorable name, Elmhurst College graduate, and you live in a world that desperately needs what that thing stands for. In front of the Frick, you may remember, you'll find inscribed on the wall these words of the sixth president of Elmhurst College, H. Richard Niebuhr. The most urgent need of the present generation is light and warmth, the light of knowledge and the warmth of high idealism. Niebuhr said that over 80 years ago, and it's just as true today. So I charge you, as you transition from students to alumni and alumni of Elmhurst, remember always what it's like to be part of a true community of learners, to risk, to be curious, to be different, to become a new person. And I charge you all now to go forth and to live the values of this college day in and day out for the rest of your lives. Congratulations, class of 2014.
Thank you, President Ray. In a moment, our ceremony will conclude, but I would like to invite you all to a continuation of the celebration, a reception in the Founders Lounge of the Frick Center. Also, I would like to ask the audience to please keep your seats until the entirety of the procession of graduates has exited the room. Please do not stand in the lobby, as this prevents our graduates from exiting the ceremony. If they can't leave, they haven't graduated. That was a joke. The graduates will need to go through the lobby around this way to drop off their caps and gowns, but I also wanted to offer you the opportunity, graduates, to have your picture taken with President Ray if you would like that. He will be down there at the, below the stage if you would like to do that. Not below the stage, next to the stage. I would now, before I get myself into any more trouble, like to invite to the podium Chaplain Matheny to lead us in the alma mater and then to offer the benediction.
Not because I have a good voice, but thank you, Dean Tipton. Will you all stand as we gather to sing the alma mater and walk out into the world that needs what you have? The class of 2014, you who have come this far, you now walk with degrees. And as I said yesterday, there is a great cloud of witnesses that stand around you. Family, friends, mothers, fathers. And out of our tradition of this college, it's my joy to call forth also the words of a mother who has a daughter graduating here, who wrote these words, even though she's not physically here. The Reverend Dr. Julie Ruth Harley of First United Oak Park is here to celebrate you all. And so as the words that come out from her and from me, that you may take your degrees and may you experience cultures other than your own. May you love your work. May you mentor others. May you help transform the world by doing justice, for it is broken. May you understand your education is just beginning, not ending. May you recognize that relationships are the most important part of life. Treasure them, and they will last forever. And may you start saving money now so you can fulfill your dreams, for the God of peace will guide you and will bless you and make a blessing to others. And so, beloved, take your degrees, take the love that comes from family, gathered and not here, and take that you might ask for help, that you might say thank you, and that you might live into amen. So be it, amen. Let's go.